got here is a Proulx Dreadnought. This is a 2002 Proulx, and it came in for a refret, so I did an Evo fret job on it. And I think that's about all I did. I did just a tiny little nut adjustment up here. One of the slots was a little too low, and it was off just a little bit, you know, it was spaced off compared to the other strings. So I cut the slot deeper, filled it with bone, and then recut it. And that's all I'm gonna, you know, that's all I do to this guitar. There's nothing to do to Mario's guitars. They're hot rods right out of the gate. This one's a 2002, so obviously, you know, it's got some age on it. And, you know, I'm not positive on the woods on this. It looks like cocobolo to me. Feels like cocobolo. It's got the weight of cocobolo. Real pretty. Great binding on it. Top is probably red spruce, although, you know, Mario uses these other kinds of spruces that I've never even heard of half the time. Again, especially on a Proulx guitar, but on a lot of custom-made guitars, don't worry about the wood so much. Let the builder build a guitar, and you know, go for the looks, or just tell him what kind of sound you want. Don't specify the woods and say, oh, I want this wood, that wood, and this wood, then be disappointed in the sound or whatever. Just tell him what kind of sound you want. Let him go to work. And I'm not sure if this guitar was special ordered, or if the current owner bought it used, or what the deal is on it. But I used to actually have a cocobolo Dreadnought. We bought it as a pool guitar, where 6 of us got together and bought a Proulx guitar. We bought a guitar, and it happened to be a Proulx this time, and shipped it around to each one of us. We each played it. I actually ended up buying it at the end, and I bought it for someone else, and then they ended up losing it, and blah, blah, blah. So I had it for a while. And the trouble was, it was a great guitar, you know, don't get me wrong, but cocobolo is a heavy wood. Mario builds his dreadnoughts just a little bit thicker than normal dreadnoughts, about 1/4 of an inch or so. I'm a small dude. I had the OMDs built for me. The OMDs are a smaller body all the way around. They fit me. And so, you know, I'm not ever going to play a dreadnought when I have 2 OMDs hanging on the wall that I play all the time. So that's why I let it go. Great guitar. You need to be a bigger person, I think, to play one of these dreadnoughts, because they're big guitars. I definitely feel that extra width back here, especially if you're used to playing something like a Santa Cruz. Santa Cruz is even narrower up here than a standard dreadnought. You pick up a Santa Cruz like a Tony Rice or something, and man, it feels slim, you know. And that's because it's thinner than a normal Martin dreadnought. Proulx the other way, they're bigger. I don't know if he's still doing that. He makes one called a Comfort Dread, which is OEM depth dreadnought shape, and that one's super comfortable. You know, I'd play one of those on heartbeat, but I have OMDs, and they're even more comfortable because I designed them, helped design them. All right, so this is a great guitar. 2002, like I said, it's got some playing time on it, some age on it. The top is gorgeous. I mean, there's no belling whatsoever. The neck is a 1 3/4 inch neck. It's a really smooth, nice taper. No big bulges, no nothing. It's got a V to it, very pronounced V. Feels very much like maybe a D18 GE, only a little slimmer on the shoulders, just a little. But very similar to that V, definite V shape, which is real comfortable for me. I mean, I like it a lot. So Waverly tuners. I mean, there it is, you know. Large sound hole. I'm pretty sure all of Mario's guitars have large sound holes. I've never seen one that didn't have a large sound hole. And, you know, both he and I, we like large sound holes. So, probably hide glue construction. Good guitar. Did a full Evo refret and heading out the door. One thing you notice about a Proulx guitar, They have a characteristic mid-range sound, a really punchy mid-range. And I think Mario has some Gibson. Well, I know he has as much Gibson influence as he does Martin influence. And you're getting this mid-range, punchy, cutty sound. It's not a big woofy Martin bassy sound. It's different. It's his own sound, you know. But this guitar will cut like no other guitar. You get into a jam or something with a Proulx, and you will cut. It's just got that punchy mid-range sound to it. It's also got, as is what attracted me first to Proulx, is the woofiness to the bass. It's got a real percussion. The top is just like a drum, especially on my OMDs. It's a smaller top, and man, it just boom, 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 boom. It's like a drum. You can do like that. The anti-Collings. I cannot. I have a Collings. I love Collings guitar. I cannot get that. No, whomp out of a Collings. You know, that's something you get on a Proulx. So. Whomp. Proulx Dreadnought 2002. Heading home. Well, how does the Proulx compare to this D28 1937 Authentic? You know, this is pretty much the standard Martin Dreadnought. And, you know, sitting here as a player, there's certainly nothing wrong with the Authentic. You know, it's a great guitar. I mean, that's all there is to it. You know, the neck feels slimmer right away. So this is a 1 3/4 inch neck, and it feels like, wow, smaller neck. And it's just, that's the profiles of the neck and everything else. I definitely noticed the difference in the depth. This guitar is a little bit slimmer into my arm. It's just got a characteristic sound. It doesn't have the punch and the woof. You know, it's probably the large sound hole on the Proulx. The Proulx sound hole is large. The Martin, of course, is the regular size Martin. And I just hear that, you know, it's a kind of a constipated sound, really. The Martin, the sound takes longer to get out of the hole. The Proulx is just bam, bam, the sound is there. It's quick, it's sharper, it's just more pointed. The Martin's kind of floats out of the sound hole. It's a more relaxed guitar. The Proulx is definitely an aggressive guitar. I don't think I've ever played a Proulx that was not an aggressive guitar, you know. One of my OMDs is my Walnut Engelmann OMD. Can be mellow, but it's nowhere near as mellow as an OM28 or something. It's still a pretty aggressive guitar. The reason that it is mellow is because of the Engelmann and the Walnut, which was a little bit more of a mellower combination than cocobolo Adirondack. You know, those are aggressive combinations. So, they're great guitars. I mean, but frankly, I mean the Proulx in a real live playing situation, the Proulx over here would eat this Martin for lunch.